Nipah! Welcome back, everybody. It's time for the Daily Nipah. Recovery Simulator 25. You can get yourself here at socksmakepeoplesexy.net/games. It is free as a bee, along with the other game I just posted the other day. It's that Plus game, which is super addicting. So just picking it up, Rika. Cat Rika, kitty cat Rika, being an adorable little troll. What's going on out there, YouTubers? What's going on out there, chat? What's going on out there, everybody? It is another day. We just got past our 2 years of consecutive streaming, so now the streak continues. 731. Do we make it to 1,000? Who knows? Twitch, you should be fucking eyeing this instead of being a bitch-ass bitch. You heard? Shout out to your hardest working streamer out there, huh? Bada-bum, 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 bada-bum. I know, Rika. I know. You know what's interesting in the land of making games is people are still so gatekeepy about difficulty basically equaling fun. And I just don't get it. Like, why is it, if it's more difficult, like, it feels very much like a masculinity issue thing. Like, oh, if you're not doing it the most hardcore way possible, you're not really gaming, you're not really a gamer, you're not really doing, like, it's dog. They're games. They're meant to be fun. If somebody is not having fun with your game and they try to give you some feedback about it, you don't double down and just call them an ass gamer. That just makes you look pathetic. So I don't understand the mentality of this whole I get that you probably put a lot of time into your game, your art, or whatever it may be, whatever you may look at it as, but just because something is difficult, I mean it's fun. This has always been true. We can give up this notion that unless the game makes you, like, rage or hate yourself, or it needs that XCOM model of, like, constant repeating to learn your way through. Like, that isn't... one, that's not for everyone, and two, that doesn't define the excitement of playing the game. Like, if that's all you get out of it, I feel like you are looking at it wrong, or you're coming into it at just a bad overall thought process on the whole situation. I used to play games on the highest difficulty, mostly because I just like the challenge. But I've stopped doing that even, depending on the game, of course. A lot of games even have difficulty challenges that are, like, way exceeding these days, that are just straight challenge runs, which I get. That's separate. Your main game isn't made to be... I'm not talking about XCOM in general. I'm more referring to a conversation I heard a friend talk about. That's Triple Double, where they commented on the game that they said they enjoyed it. Oh, that's a 4 house. But the quick time event part of it wasn't working well enough. It wasn't, like, satisfying. Like, it didn't line up well with any animations, and it felt too random. And the dev's response basically was, have you ever played Dark Souls? Get good. That was another triple-double. And that just flabbergasts me on so many levels. Like, one, they're enjoying your work. And they actively want to give feedback that they think that would help the game, which is feedback that I happen to agree with. Like, if your game doesn't have, like, satisfying moments in it, it's not going to be that exciting for the people playing it. If it's too random, if it doesn't make sense, it's just not gonna, like, catch on. Like, people mention Dark Souls. Well, Dark Souls has a formula to it. It's not just hard to be hard. There's been people who've played that game and won it with no armor. Like, there are ways to be good and satisfying at a difficult game. Purposely leaving it difficult without, like, understanding what your audience is trying to say and being like, hey, if you tweak this a little bit, this could be good. Like, even if you respond with, like, I see that, but, like, this is what I'm going for, and they list a reason why they're doing it their way, that would be much better than just, Jesus Christ, have you ever played a hard game? Get good. Like, that is so shallow and mind-numbingly dumb. I don't get it. Like, I don't get it. And no part of gaming history has difficulty equaled fun. It's all up to the individual. If you find a harder difficulty to be fun for yourself, that's great. But never has it been... Well, that's a double triple, nice. Were the QTEs even hard? I honestly don't know. I had not played the game myself. I probably won't with a dev team like that. It was more the fact that there was no real visual cue for the QTE. Like, let's take Final Fantasy VIII, for example. When you're using your gun blade, like, when you slash and then hit, like, the R1 button or whatever it was to make the gun blade shoot as you're slashing, there was always a specific visual cue you could look at. And you'd be like, okay, then I can time it up with this and get that extra damage or whatever. In the other game, there was no consistent visual cue. It was too random-ish. And the gamer... Wow, that was really close. The gamer, if they don't have a consistent way to hit this QTE event in the game, is just more frustrating than difficult. Like, it's not difficulty, it's bad game design, in my opinion. So I'm just very confused at why you would double down on something like that. And it just comes off as being very soft, essentially. Like, how fragile are you of an individual? Random dots into a Clone Hero track. Kind of. Like, it's not exactly lining up with the music in a few parts. And, so you're like, oh god, it's fucking me up. I've played a few Clone Hero songs like that. And it sucks. Because it's not difficult, it's just... I mean, it's not difficulty for difficulty. Like, it is difficulty for difficulty's purpose. In which, in some ways... I mean, most of the really difficult Clone Hero tracks aren't like that, to be fair. A lot of them are also made for, like... I used to get pretty upset about how difficult some Clone Hero tracks are, but the highest end of Clone Hero players at this point they basically have to have those kind of difficulty tracks to stay interested because they've been playing for so long and they're so good. That they need something to like push them a little more, and I get that. But like making a fucked up chart and then being like, well, get good. that's just not good. That doesn't work. That's just fragile ego at work. You can't take any amount of criticism. You get good. It's wild to me. Like, as a gamer, I love talking to game devs. I love pointing out things that are frustrating or things that are great. I love giving good feedback. I love giving feedback to things that I think could be improved. I mean, you've seen it, me playing Rosigma for a fucking year or two now. There are many things that have frustrated me that I've mentioned. And there's still things I don't necessarily agree with that I think are kind of silly. The game is still great, though, and the feedback is great, because the devs aren't coming in here and fucking telling me that I suck and I should just get good. Like, it's positive feedback and just general feedback. Nice for House Rico. And like, yeah, we got mouse support for Yomu Ball, but see? You know how many additions came to this game just from, like, talking stuff out? Like, this is why I love talking to game devs, because game devs fucking... Like, it's part of the whole circle of gaming life, right? Like, we all grew up playing these games, and now all the game devs that spawned and create stuff now are, you know, they grew up being just as big as fans as I was of the gaming sphere. Just on a different side of it, they like the design aspect of it, which is beautiful. I love gaming in general. It's an art. There's lots of art into making games. There's music. I mean, there's so many different style of games, so I can't really like put it. There's music. There's artistry, like visuals. Depending on whatever game, you got your crisp controls or your simulations or whatever. There's Nipahs. Like, there's so many aspects of gaming that are really awesome and fun. And to just double down on, oh, you just don't like difficulty, it's a brain-dead argument. It's just a brain-dead argument. Oh, that is a 4 house. Like, you have to let your players decide what is the most fun part for them, while not conceding, of course, what your goal is. However, you can realize during the design process that there could be some things done better in some way or another that could improve the game. And instead of taking it as, like, a personal insult, just understand that people want to play your game. They want to play your art. So just being an asshole back to them doesn't really help. Like, you're just solidifying the less people bothering with what you're doing. That's a straight. Nicely done, Rico. That's all I'm saying. Like, damn. I've avoided quite a few games throughout the years because the dev teams just seem so full of themselves, or amongst other things. What's up, Max? And it's just absurd that so much of it just boils down to, like, simpleton arguments. Oh, Max, please. One comment doesn't really mean much. What's the general consensus? Yeah, no, I agree with that. But that's what I'm saying. Like, this is definitely something that can be expanded on. And also, the, oop, there's a nice 4-house. The idea that one comment makes you that angry that you have to call somebody out on it. Like, that's not gonna just be an isolated thing. Each feedback comment is gonna have a response like that at that point. If they're so protective of what they made, nothing's gonna happen. Like, they're just gonna completely get angry at everything you mention. There's gotta be a back and forth between the audience and the designer. There's hardly ever a point in any game's history, ever, where the very first game that was released was this perfect game that never needed anything touched on. That is a triple-double. I honestly don't know entirely, Bo. I was just talking in general in terms right there. I'm pretty sure it's not. It's a game that has a lot of cool art and stuff, but like some aspects of it weren't quite right. And responses to it were just so negative. Like, everything needs to be tweaked at some point or another. These days, especially. Like, there's tons of bugs in old NES games that we take advantage of for speedrunning and stuff. Some of them are fun, some of them are ridiculous. But games were so much more kind of basic back than they are now, because, I mean, it was the dawn of gaming. So it's a little bit more understandable when things go a little bit awry back then. But nowadays, when you have, you know, Q&A, you have the beta releases of stuff to get feedback from, like, audiences and stuff. It's so that you can understand what your audience is also looking for with your game design. And then you kind of, you know, you have that conversation. Oh no, it wasn't a pestering thing. Triple-double. It was their first response. Like, literally their first mention of it to the devs. Because they enjoyed it. They wanted to enjoy it more. And that was their first response. And at that point, you're just like, well, why waste my time? And I'm all for that. It ain't a pestering thing. This is the first time. And yeah, it can go both ways. The audience can be very wrong in some cases. It's not usually about game design at that point, though. It's usually about, like how Overwatch 2 went to Steam and it has, like, overwhelming negative reviews. Like, I'm not trying to defend Overwatch or anything, but the negative reviews are definitely coming from a hatred for Blizzard more than the game itself. Which I can get as well. But, like, look at Stardew Valley. The creator of that has done nothing but listen to their community, and that game is thriving as one of the most popular games on the planet. They've added stuff the community has made and given them credit for it. And that's incredible. Like, to have that good... Oh, another 4-house. A lot of 4 houses today. To have that kind of back and forth with your community is incredible. And that's why those games like that are going to last for so long. With such a, like, positive outlook and such a healthy community around it. But yeah, sometimes people get it wrong, in my opinion. Not like I have a big horse in this race, but I am definitely siding with my friend on this, that you could give constructive criticism to something and not immediately get told that you're bad at games. I think that is a very shallow and stupid argument that just doesn't hold any water. That's just reactionary and doesn't actually add anything to the conversation. Yeah, I'm all for. I mean, voting with your wallet is true, but like that's still not really gonna work against like AAA super companies. But like, I don't even play those kind of games mostly anyway, so. But it comes to a point where it's also like letting others know about how crap they are. Blizzard is a small indie developer. I can't deny I've loved some Blizzard games over the years. But at the same time, that's a triple-double. I mean, we all saw what the fucking former CEO did there and how awful their company is behind the scenes. I don't really play much Blizzard things anymore. The only thing I would probably play is, like, Diablo 2 remastered, and only if I could get modded single player to not have the obtuseness of having such a small inventory. Which was always one of my biggest complaints about the new remastered Diablo 2, but regardless of the specifics like that, I generally don't support things like Blizzard if I have, like, even if I wanted to play some, I probably wouldn't. But also, it's not like it's gonna make a whole lot of difference. Yeah. I get that. I get that. It's just also frustrating to see people be treated that way when all they want to do is, like, help improve something. Like, if they were being intentionally shitty about it, I'd be like, well, you're being shitty about it. I wouldn't be like, this is the dev's fault. I'd say, you're doing the shitty, but it was the shittiness on the dev's part that frustrated me. It's just, it's the bad take and reasoning behind it that really bothered me more than anything else. And this isn't the first time stuff like that's happened. I can't think of any specific games, but there's been plenty of time devs have came out and just bitched at the community the whole time, acting like they're at fault for everything, and it's just like, dog, you gotta take a step back and see what the fuck you're doing. But they won't, they're too ego-driven. Once ego takes a foothold in those brains, there's just not much you can do. Shitty people on the internet? Who would have thought? Just saying, that's the love between gamer and game dev. Game devs want people to play their games. Gamers want to play the games. Another 4. Wow, how many 4 houses have we had today? So the communication between the two should be a healthy one. Now, I understand people can get upset, especially people who play games rage and then they leave, like, bad reviews because of it. I think that is very unhealthy as well. You play a game for 5 minutes and then leave, like, a glaringly bad review on it. Like, it could be terrible, but at the same time, are you sure you're just not upset that this thing happened? Like, it's a two-way thing. That is true. I mean, to an extent, they have to. That's a triple-double. Like, that's also their, way to make a living. Kind of like, if I could just stream every day without needing money, I'd be happy, but unfortunately, that's not the reality of life, because everything costs fucking money. But it's the irrational quickness without thinking, whether it be on the gamers or the game dev side, that is not healthy to any conversation. And a lot of people will just double down on stubbornness after that and be like, well, whatever, live with it. And it's just like does anybody ever want to be around you when you talk like this? How do you even have, like, friends or people to work with? It's just bad. I just like better communication. Don't take everything so personal when somebody mentions something about their game you don't like. Because one, you're not gonna make everybody happy anyways, but two, you don't have to attack people who make legitimate feedback. That's how things get better. That's how I get better. I get feedback from my psych and from people, and everybody gets better. It just needs to be a healthier conversation is all. Isn't that right, Rika? Yeah. Last 10 rolls, Rika. Hey, Mabada Habada Gabada Mabada Habada Goblin. Mabada Habo Goblin. What's up, Rizik? Nipah! Oh, the blow to keep you sharp, like Kato did it for Inspector Clouseau. Kato did. Oh no, what's up, Hollow Pride? What's up, X Gemini? Good to see you all today. Like, I've fucking exploded before, but I've never taken it like it's a personal offense to me that the game is this way. And I don't, like, personally take it out on the fucking game designers when something like that happens. Oh, that's a triple-double. But I will mention ways I think it should be improved. I think that's the biggest miss here, is, like, people can criticize, but then they can't add more to it. Like, okay, you don't like this thing. What would you like to see changed? That's the second half of that. You can yell at something, but okay, what would you like to see changed? And that is a Daily Nipah. Thank you, Rika. Appreciate it as always. Don't forget, YouTubers, you can get at socksmakepeoplesexy.net/games and Twitch chat. I want to do some Rika Furude Simulator. We're going to play a little of that plus game here as well for a few before we get to the XCOM, so that's also available there. But until next time, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate that very much. Please like and subscribe. I'd also appreciate that. Positive vibes, and remember...